Hello, this is Paweł from DevOps Codes Academy. Welcome to the next lesson. Today we're gonna move our Terraform state from local file to remote. We're gonna use for that AWS S3 Bucket together with DynamoDB. But before that, I would like to invite you to our new Facebook group, DevOps Codes Academy, where we want to learn together, share about DevOps and cloud informations. Also, we would like to gather a community that we can help each other. So you can find the link in the description of the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe, leave your thumb up under this video, and leave a comment if you like or if you need any help. All right, let's go to the console. All right, we are in Visual Studio Code. Here you can see my Terraform state, which is a local file. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna create an S3 bucket and DynamoDB table. S3 bucket to store the Terraform state and S3 bucket to keep lock ID. Lock ID is required for us to be able to protect our state when we are working in a team, right? So every time when we're gonna execute Terraform plan or apply, we're gonna put a lock into the DynamoDB table, so other people will not be able to interact with Terraform. This will help us to keep our state without any data corruption, right? Let's imagine that two people will apply at the same times changes, and then Terraform state might be corrupted, and the changes made by one person would be overwritten by the second one. So as you can see, now the state is empty. And before we're gonna move and configure our remote state, we have to create S3 bucket. So what we can do, we can use AWS CLI for that. We could also go to the web console, but I want to show you how to interact a little bit with AWS with CLI, right? So we can do S3 API, create bucket, and you can see that I was creating some buckets in the past. So we have to put the name of the bucket. It has to be unique. We have to remember about that. So let's say we want to do DevOps Codes Academy remote state. You have to put your own, of course. Then region. As we were using region EU Central 1, we can keep everything in the EU Central 1. Okay, and we can put the flag, create bucket configuration. Strength EU Central 1. Okay. And we see that we have this bucket. Let's go to Firefox in my case. And let's see if we have an S3 bucket created. Okay, we have DevOps Codes Academy remote states created. That's good. What we can do, we can also put a versioning on this bucket. And if you remember from previous lessons, versioning will help us to keep different Terraform states in our history, right? So let's say if there will be problem with our Terraform state and we want to check some history, previous version, we will be able to do that. So let's put it here. Okay, that should be fine. Let's see. properties, and versioning is enabled. That's good. So we have S3 bucket prepared, and now we have to create a DynamoDB table. Same region. Table name. Let's call it DevOps Codes Academy. Can put df logs, Terraform logs, and I will do some copy pasting here so it will be a little bit faster. Attribute definition, we have to put the attribute name log ID, and attribute, it will be a string. Key schema for DynamoDB, type hash, and we will go with provision throughput with 1 unit. That should be fine for us for read and for write capacity. Okay, and we've got output in JSON that table status is creating. Can go and check, refresh here, tables, change the region. When you are new to AWS, you always might have problems with the regions, and you can look for your resources and be curious where are they. But for me, when I don't see anything, I always check the region. That's the first thing. Okay, we've got the table. That's very good. So we have it. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna configure our backend. So what we have to do, we can go in our main, and we're gonna build a new block, Terraform backend, and we're gonna define it as S3. So first we have to put a bucket, the name of the bucket, which we have here. Next, we need a key. Key will be required for keeping different Terraform remote state files in one bucket, right? So in our case, we have only one right now, but we can do multiples, and each of the keys have to be unique. So we can call it infrastructure. Can call it, for example, central one for the region, Terraform tf state. Yeah, we can, this is just name for the object. Have to point the region of the bucket. In our case is EU central one, and we have to define the DynamoDB table name. This is for the log IDs. All right. Terraform format looks much better. And let's do Terraform init. And let's see now. Okay, should be good. Let's try to deploy our infrastructure, and let's see if anything will change here, right? So we can see that this is our table. Can go explore items. There's no items yet because we didn't deploy anything. If we go to the objects, there's no objects probably as well. Okay. So we see we have our plan with 6 resources to add. And as you can see here, Terraform is acquiring state log. So this is the moment that when we are starting reading the state, we don't want anybody to interact with Terraform. Now we are still creating. Let's see if anything happened here. Not yet. And as you can see, we have a log already. And this is the log ID on the file. And you can see the operation apply who, that's me. We have a date. That's very nice, right? So we don't want to do any changes here. And all right, we have infrastructure use central, and we have our state file. That's great. After deploy, we have release of the state log. So as you can see, there's no more changes in this file. If we get rid of it, nothing should happen here. Let's try to do Terraform plan. Once again, we should have no changes. All right, that's my issue on my MacBook. Sometimes happen. Don't worry about that. It's because of my M1 MacBook. Okay, we are refreshing state. Okay, no changes. Log is working. That's very good. So we can do now two things. We can download the state. Now we have only one version of it, so we could download it. We can open. So you will see this file, and we have our resources, right? Instance profile, IAM role, etc. So we have it all here. But instead of going to the S3 bucket, we can also pull the state. So we can go Terraform state pull. We can redirect it to the file, right? You can name it whatever you want. And in a second, we will have it here as well, right? So we can check. So thanks to this operation, we don't keep the remote state file locally. We can keep it on S3 bucket. So the whole team can work together using this Terraform state, which is kept on AWS S3 bucket. Okay, so we have some changes. This file, we don't need it anymore. We can delete. So we have changes. So what we can do, of course, we can commit it to the master, but let's make it git checkout b, new branch, add remote state. Okay, we have a new branch, we have changes, they are here. So we can stage changes. Now put a message. Add remote state, publish branch. Let's publish. Just quick reminder from the last lesson, and let's see if this will work here. Okay, we can make it from VS Code. So we want to make from the add remote state branch to master title, add remote S3 bucket. Let's create it. That's nice. If we go to the Firefox and we're gonna go to pull requests, you see that that was opened 11 seconds ago. This is how we can interact with GitHub from VS Code. And of course, we can ask somebody to review. But as we are working now single people. Let's call it like that. So I will merge this pull request. Create merge commit is okay for us. We can delete the branch. We can delete remote and local, both of them. That's okay. Now we can git checkout master. You see that we are behind by 2 commits because one was with changes and second one was created with merge. Git pull. And we see that it's a fast forward pull, changes in main file, and we have everything on our master, right? So that's quick reminder from last lesson about Git. Okay, thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed that lesson. Please don't forget to leave your thumb up. If you need any more help, put a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And see you in the next lesson.